What's goody? It's your boy Nick Kaye saying it's a great day to be saved, great life to know Christ, and a great time to live the dream. We're here live at, well, it's not live, um, but this is the I'm Actually podcast created by Jordan Alexa, produced by yours truly. Today's episode is going to be fire. I don't even know what my wife is talking about. Whatever she's talking about, you're going to need it. That's why you clicked on this pod. She may show this or she may not show it. If she does, fantastic. If not, it's all good. Again, it's your boy Nick Kaye saying it's a great day to be saved, great life to know Christ, and a great time to live the dream. Whatever you stress about, don't worry, because God got your back. Peace.
Not the peas. What's up, everyone? If you can hear the sound of my voice, that means that you are tuned into Actually with Jordan Alexa, where perspective is on the hot seat. Here we challenge conformity and ignite insight by encouraging you to think for your own self. And we do that by discussing various topics dealing with the mental process, the human experience, etc., etc. And you can think of me as your friend that's going to tell you how it is, what it is, and if it is. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it just ain't. How you guys doing? I'm super excited to be here. I'm super freezing, super cold, super tired. It's late at night. I tried to take a nap. Didn't happen. Um, Normal people have to drink multiple cups of coffee during the day. I drink one at like 6 o'clock in the morning. I ain't going to bed till 11:30. I don't know what that's about, but I wanted to take a nap. It didn't happen. I'm recording today. I shouldn't be recording today, honestly, because I should have been recording. I'm literally supposed to be done recording for like the batch recording that I'm doing. I'm supposed to have been done yesterday, but it snowed and the rest of the world wasn't doing anything. So I wasn't doing anything either. And might be a bad mindset. Might not be good. They say where everybody else is sleeping, you need to be get up, hit the pavement, get it done, do the work. But yeah, I wasn't feeling that at all. It's still feeling like, the new year. It honestly feels like it's April. It honestly feels like it's April. At the time of me recording this, it's January. I think we're in the second week of January right now. And I'm confused. My time is off. Everything's wonky. Um, yeah, life is just interesting right now. Because honestly, everything. Okay, so this is the best way I can explain it. So, you know how like you get prophecies and you receive words and it's like God's gonna do this, He's gonna do that. You're gonna be this, you're gonna be that. And it's like, oh my gosh, hallelujah. You fall on the floor, you cry, all that good stuff. Um, but when the time comes to actually do it, like when the time comes for you to actually put that work in, oh whoa. Oh wow. You know, like it was real interesting when we were fasting for it, praying for it, seeking the Lord for it, asking God what it looks like, asking the Lord, make me, equip me, whatever. And when God actually says, all right, uh, you know, go do it. It's like, huh? You want, huh? You say what? Um, and being in that place has really had me in the state of trying to understand the balance between ambition and faith. And I mean, I'm not the only one. I've talked to several people about it. Um, Trying to understand, how much do you go at it with you and all you got, and how much do you go at it with God's got it, the idea of God's in control and all that other stuff. I think that it's been, I wouldn't even say a struggle. It's definitely not a struggle. It's more of like a place of discovery, is because so many people have made it seem like faith and ambition are two separate things. Some people have felt like people are way too ambitious, and so they run to this whole faith driven narrative, like all you gotta do is believe in God. All you gotta do is this. All you gotta do is that. Or maybe the opposite. People feel like people who choose to have faith, they're not doing enough, and you know, you got churches talking more so about how to start your business instead of being about your father's business. But that's besides the point. Um, I don't even know why. Anyways, yeah. So people make it seem like they're such polar opposites, to the point where I remember there was a point in time, like I literally heard somebody say that ambition is a sin, and I said, "Now is it? Is ambition a sin? Right?" And so I had to look ambition up, and all ambition is like a strong desire to do something or achieve something. And I was like, well, where's the sin in that? Because I've literally gone through, I've gone through. That's enough. I've been through it. I've literally gone through times of, leaning on the sides of, either side. Being the people who say, faith is not enough. But also being the person who says you can't do it all with the ambition, and leaning too far on the side of faith. Um, and so now that I'm in a place where God is like, all right, um, get up. It's like, okay, now wait a second. For so long, I feel like I was in that place of praying and, asking God and consulting God for stuff. And God, is this the right thing? Is this the direction you want me to go in? Is this? And for so long operating in that. Now that He is, asking me to put a bit of practicality to it, it's made me ask the question, like, can ambition and faith coexist? And so, just for clarity, for the sake of this conversation, I am literally viewing ambition as, how I defined it earlier, something that you really desire, something that you you feel the need to go after, or something that you feel like you have to make happen in your life. Um, and then faith, to me, because some people say faith is belief in yourself. Not for me. Not for me. Faith is about my belief in God and my belief in His function in my life, His hand on my life, and how it is that He leads me, guides me every day, being Lord, being sovereign, right? Um, and so, for just for the basis and the sake of this conversation, I just want to establish that. And so I think the perceptions of both faith and ambition comes from people kind of being reckless, being reckless in both directions. Just speaking for me personally, um, there have been times in my life where I literally was like, first of all, me, Jordan Alexa, as an individual, very much a go getter, very much all right, let's do it. Let's just, what do we got to do? Very much. List it out, write it down. Okay, let's cut it up into chunks, cut it up into steps. Let's go and get it. Um, and I really got to a point in my life where, it took me far. Having that mindset got me really, really far. It gave me opportunities, it allowed for me to do stuff, all that kind of, all that jazz. Um, but I got stuck. Even in the midst of me getting stuck, I still was like, no, I gotta do this. It's like if you imagine a car being in a ditch and the tires are just and just kicking up mud and smoke coming out the back of the car. That was me in life, just stuck and smoke coming out my. Ooh. I'll be so close to slipping up. Smoke coming out of my ears, from frustration, from anger, from disappointment, from just being upset that things literally are not going my way. But then on the other side, I've also been the super faith heavy person. And in this scenario, I say faith loosely because faith really is everything. But I've also been the person who's been saying like, God's going to take care of it. God's going to do it. God's going to, I've been sitting down and I've been looking around like, God, like, what you doing? And he looking at me like, what you doing? Like, what you mean what I'm doing? I'm like, God, you're not showing up. And he's like, showing up where? There's no area for me to show up in. It's just vagueness and nothingness. I've definitely been on either side. And like I said, I think both sides are reckless. And honestly, in hindsight, the extremes are both rooted in fear. I feel like with ambition, when you basically decide that you the captain now, you the captain of this ship, you the one who's gonna decide where it goes, how it's gonna be and all that other stuff. I know for me, the biggest thing that I realized was I don't trust God in this area of my life. I don't trust him. I don't trust him in this area of my life, or I don't believe that he cares enough to do anything concerning this area of my life. You know how people talk about God and like, none of that matters. None of that matters. When people get passionate when they talk about God, they just repeat the same thing over and over again, just to drive the point. It's real breathy. None of that matters. Oh, sorry. But they basically talk about how the things in your life and all that stuff, it doesn't matter. And ultimately that is true. But for me, I sort of kind of adopted this mindset that, well, maybe, it don't matter. Like, not in the sense that none of it matters to, the in measurement of, things and how big God is and how big situations are and, God being able to intervene in situations or, whatever, what have you. I just said, well, God does not care. Clearly he doesn't care. And because he doesn't care, I'll do it. Whoa. That's the first time, even though I was living it out, that's the first time I ever said it out loud. And that is bizarre. That's nuts. Like, who did I think I was? Who do I think I am? Because I still do it. I still do it. This is crazy. Like, clearly I don't trust God enough in this area of my life. I don't think that he cares, or simply he not moving quick enough for me. Do you know how many situations I have put myself in because God just was not moving quick enough for me? And then on the back end say, all right, everything's moving kind of fast. Hey, God, if this is supposed to be happening, and by golly, every single time when I say shut down, shut it down. Opportunities, jobs, relationships, all types of stuff. On the back end, thought about it on the back end. But yeah, you're not moving quick enough for me. I literally am irritated with you. I'm not putting myself in the position to be disappointed by you again. And I'll just put it in my own hands. Still sounds wild. Still sounds wild. Because I do not trust me with me. I do not trust me with me. And I keep picking me up. and I need to put me down. I'm too big to be picking me up. I'm not strong enough to pick me up. Gosh, nuts. And then on the other side with faith, and once again, I'm saying faith loosely. It's more like a mindset that I'm thinking about, whether it's been with me or whether it's been with people that I'm talking to. Y'all, I won't even say that it's a thin line, but there is definitely a valley that exists between faith and delusion. Like that whole thing where it's like, yeah, be delusional, be delusional. When you're delusional, you get what you. Don't be delusional. Don't be delusional. That is so irresponsible. There really is a line between faith and delusion. And I don't know where this idea of like putting things on God without consulting him came from, but I've definitely been that person. Like, let's just say God's gonna give me $50,000. He didn't tell me that. I'm not saying, if God told you that he's gonna give you $50,000, that he ain't. But I've literally said that the Lord's gonna give me $50,000. Just how you know the difference between faith and delusion. Where's the $50,000 going to? What's it being allocated to? Just for you to have? Because the Lord don't give no promises without no plan. You ever talk to somebody and they said the Lord gonna do this, and they say, why? Why is he gonna do? What do you want to do with that? Oh no, he probably didn't say that. He probably didn't say that, or you need to seek. And even if he did say it, you ain't gonna get it because you don't know what you're supposed to be doing with it. Anyways, thin line between faith and delusion. Just take me for instance. Y'all know I used to talk about this all the time. I believed with my entire everything in me, my heart, my mind, my soul, my skin, my eyelashes, my toenails, that I was going to be famous. And I remember it was literally one time in class, my teacher, she was telling me something. She said I had to study something, I had to do my homework or something. And she said, in middle school, they're not going to tolerate this. I said, I'm not going to middle school. Middle school? What are you talking about? I'm not going to middle school, girl. I'm going to be famous. Famous for what? What do you do? I don't know. But in my heart, I genuinely believed that I would be famous. No talent, no plan, no mission, no vision, no nothing. No doo-wop pop, no invention, no nothing. And I was saying I wasn't going to the 6th grade. That was delusion. I understood who God was. I understood that he did stuff for people. I understood that. And I said, he's going to do this for me. No reason. Now that's just, a silly example of how we can be so reckless sometimes as adults. If it is faith, what is it for? What are you doing with it? There is I won't even call this a line, but it's just a reality that exists for people who claim to be having faith when they're just lazy. I was listening to a sermon once, and years ago, was it TD Jakes? It was somebody was saying that like Christians are the only ones who be praying and asking God for a table, and they're surrounded by trees. It's the concept of you're asking God for a table. He gave you the trees around you. He gave you hands, Maybe you're missing a saw. Maybe there's a saw. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe the saw is what needs to be provided, but you'll never find out because you don't see God, because you're so busy asking for and having faith for this end result instead of asking God how to make you the person to achieve the result, or lead you and guide you in the person to steward the process of achieving the result, if that makes any sense. So there is a laziness that people sometimes have when it comes to faith. There's also, like I said earlier, a fear that people can sometimes have when it comes to faith. I know for me, that was definitely me. Has God even equipped me to do this thing that I believe that he's asking me to do, or this thing that I saw? Can I do it? Still, once again, very prideful, because in the same way I'm looking at ambition and I'm saying, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it, I'm over here still thinking about my hands and what it is that I can do. With that is just, that's just pride. Because all fear is an absence of faith. But whatever. That's another topic for another day. Yeah, I'm scared that I'm not the person to go or to properly do, or to properly handle, or to properly facilitate whatever it is that God has led me to. And then I say, well, I'm just believing God, or I'm just praying, or I'm waiting on God. Waiting on him to do what? So, coming back to, can faith and ambition coexist? Ambition has been viewed negatively. Ambition has been demonized. Ambition has been just made out to be something that is just totally beyond what the simple definition of it is. And then for some people, faith has been squandered. Faith has been minimized. Faith has been seen as silly. Faith has been seen as stupid. Faith has been seen as wishful thinking. Faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. It's like, what does that even mean? Faith is the substance of things hoped for, right? So true faith forces you to move, right? So that's like the word obedience. The root word, or wherever it comes from, means to listen, right? And I always thought it was weird that the word obedience was an action that meant to receive something. Because I always thought obedience was just doing. But the root word of obedience, meaning to listen, is really pointing at the fact of when you hear and you receive instruction, there's a way in which you should hear it that will cause you to move in a certain way. So let's say God says, Jordan, go to the store. I'll go to the store and I'm gonna buy groceries and I'm gonna come home, right? Versus in my obedience, God says, go to the store. In my obedience, listening to the way that he is saying it, feeling his heart behind it, trying to understand his mind behind it. He's sending me to the store because there's somebody there who needs me to buy groceries for them. If that makes any sense. Like, I know that sounds crazy, but with faith, if you really, truly, genuinely have faith, it's going to cause you to move. Because how is faith something that is invisible? Substance. Because substance is matter. Substance is tangible. Substance is, right? If you truly, genuinely, wholeheartedly have faith for something, it's going to cause you to make things tangible. Do something that is tangible. Do something that is matter. Do something that is of substance, right? So it is the substance of things hoped for, because what it is that you're believing God for is that is the hope, right? So if faith is the substance of things hoped for, faith is the driving force for the action to get you to the thing that you hope for. It's computing to me. And it is the evidence of things not seen. Same thing. When you have faith and you actually do stuff, it's bringing the things that are in, let's say I have an idea. I have this idea. This is a great idea. I'm hoping for this outcome. My faith would generate my action and bring evidence of this thing that isn't seen, this idea. Is that clicking? I feel it in my belly, but I don't know if it's clicking. I don't know how to make it click. And if it doesn't, read the Bible for yourself. That's why you can't listen to nobody. If anything that you get out of this entire thing, go read the Bible for yourself. Don't listen to me, please. But with that being said, ambition without faith shouldn't exist, if that makes any sense. It's not that ambition and faith can coexist, or ambition and faith, there's a balance between the two. Your ambition should be filtered through your faith at all times. You should not be making a move without consulting God. You should not be making plans without consulting God. Even when you do make plans, because sometimes you will make plans because you feel like you don't hear God saying nothing. And so you try to do your best to act out of wisdom. You try to do your best to, make the best decisions concerning the situation, whatever. Submit it to God. Your ambition without faith is perverted. I was frustrated. I was upset. I was just pursuing God not pursuing God. I was just pursuing whatever it is that I wanted to do, and upset with God because he wasn't stamping it. That's perverted. That's not okay. So ambition without faith is an issue. Yeah. Definitely. But it should be filtered through your faith. So I guess the question is, what does that look like? And I feel like I'm figuring that out right now. There are a lot of things in my life that I am trying to accomplish and are very practical, very doable, tactical things. And it's real easy to get caught up in the movement of that, right? It's very easy to get caught up in, all right, did this, next is this, next is this, next is this, next is this. I keep finding myself having to stop and say, oh, hold on. I didn't even ask God about that. Ooh, I didn't even, you know what I'm saying? Or, oh, let me go ahead and ask God about this. And I feel like that's honestly what it looks like. And I'm saying, I'm sitting here talking to you guys about it. But I'm talking to you guys about it as I'm going through it, as I'm processing it. I'm Sway, and I don't have all the answers. I don't know. I have no clue, but I believe that in your pursuit of things, especially because I believe that 2025 is a year where a lot of people are going to step into promises, are going to step into visions that they've had for years, or be on the cusp of it, the brink of it, the beginning of it. And I feel like is going to be a crucial moment. It's going to be a crucial time um, to choose if you're taking God with you, if that makes any sense. Because for so long, our desire for these things, our desires to be in these places, is what kept us at the feet of God, is what kept us seeking his face, is what kept us, um, asking him questions, um, seeking understanding, seeking wisdom. And I believe that now a lot of people are coming to a time where they are about to receive um, the manifestation of what it is that they received in the spirit. And will you move forward with God? Will you consult God? Will you consider him? It's like in the hustle and bustle of life, in the hustle and bustle of achieving, in the hustle and bustle of acquiring, is God as important as what it is that you are working toward? Because we know that faith without works is dead. And a lot of times we use that scripture to describe, not only believing something and working towards, what I'm talking about um, today. But just as faith without works is dead, works without faith is dead too. Like the equation, you flip it, it's the same outcome as death. So whether this is a message to me or a message to somebody else, God is pleased with, work as much as he is pleased with um, faith, but you have to do it properly. If you are somebody who has been bound to the shackles of working hard, um, finding value in working hard, finding identity in the work that you do, um, the first thing I would say is stop it. First of all, we're not even created to work. But the second thing I would say is relinquish control. God truly and genuinely is in control, and he has your best interest at heart. And there is nothing that you could do to deter his plan for you. There's nothing that you can do to mess up his plan for you. There's nothing that you can do to throw anything off. And there's also nothing that you can do to work hard and diligently enough to make it come to pass. If that makes any sense. Like, you do what you can do and God gonna do the rest. Right? So for those of you, I don't know why, but I just feel like for those of you making yourself sick, for those of you, you're staying up late at night, can't get any rest because you're trying to figure out how you're going to make something happen. Baby, take a melatonin and go to bed. Seriously. There's you're not. You're not. You can't. It's not you. It's not you. I love you. You're talented. You're great. But it's not you. Take rest and take peace in God being able to take you the rest of the way that you cannot. I don't know if it's so crazy because there's literally a plane flying over the house, a car zooming by, and somebody outside screaming right now. So either this must be true or everybody's timing is just terrible. But I feel like there is somebody who is like, I don't know, just dealing with a lot as it pertains to working and proving yourself, even like proving yourself to God. Like, you can't work, you can't work into being his approval. You can't do it. It's not possible. I literally tried, beyond ambition as it pertains to like life and whatever, because that is a mindset. That's a mindset that you have. And that some people even believe that Christianity is based on that. And some Christians even judge people off of that. You do this, you do that, you do this, you do that, you do this. Baby, you could be the best person on the planet. Nothing you do, nothing. Mm-mm. Nothing you do will ever suffice for what God can do for you. Just can't. It just won't. It just can't. So free yourself. You do what you can do. You do what you're supposed to do. You do what you know you can do. God will take care of the rest. And then for you, you, the other person, who you're sitting because you're waiting on God to show you something specific. You already know what you're supposed to be doing. You do. Yeah. You already know. You already know what you're supposed to be doing. You put in the work in, you put in an effort in. It's not it's not contrary to what God is showing you. It's not the opposite of believing God. Yeah. You asking for strategy is not wrong. You asking for help is not wrong. You asking for resources is not wrong. That's a part of him bringing it to pass. That's a part of faith. If you have an idea, if you have something that he showed you years ago, it's time to get the ball rolling. Go ahead and push it. I feel like there's somebody who's watching this is crazy. I feel like there's somebody who's watching this who um mm, it's like God showed you something, God showed you what it is that he would like for you to do, and the hesitancy is in you're not doing anything because of, like I mentioned earlier, like a fear, like being scared that you're gonna mess it up, being scared that you're going to do it wrong, being scared that it's not going to be good enough, being scared that it's not going to look like what it is that you think it's supposed to look like, being afraid to do work because you're afraid to let God down. Jesus. This is strange, y'all. Not the Lord didn't take over my podcast. God's faith is not in you. God's faith is not in you. God's faith is in himself and what it is that he knows what he already put in you and what it is that he knows that he already instilled in you. You're not missing anything. You're not missing anything. It's in you. But you cannot be afraid to operate in it. You cannot be afraid to walk it out. You cannot be afraid to do it. You can't be afraid. Y'all, I'm getting so overwhelmed. And if I ain't talking to nobody, then I'm just crazy. And I'll be that crazy girl. Y'all know that. I say it all the time. I'll be crazy. That's fine. I ain't got no problem with it. I'll be crazy. But there's a balance. And it's not, like I said, it's not even a balance. It's like a level of submission. You submit what it is that you're doing to God. It's a level of surrender. Yeah. And I just keep hearing, will you believe? And I feel like that's for both sides. That's for both sides. That's for people who are, they're doing more work than believing, and for people who are sitting and waiting and who aren't doing any work. Will you believe? Will you believe? Will you believe? That's the question. Will you believe? Will you believe? We believe what? It's not like only like, will you believe that like I will do it? But it's like, will you believe that I will be there with you in doing it? And even to, what it is that I was saying earlier about many people are coming into a place where you're going to walk into, this new season or whatever it is. Will you believe? Will you believe? Like, will you believe in your own ability? Like, did you get you here? Did you do this? Or will you believe that God did this? God did what it is that he said he's going to do. And will you continue to believe? Like, will you believe? For the person who's working too hard, will you believe that God is for you? Will you believe that God, has your best interest at heart? Will you believe that he genuinely is with you every step of the way? Will you believe that, he won't disappoint you? Will you believe that he really does have the final say and not you? Will you believe that he is Lord? Will you believe his understanding, his way of doing things, his way of laying out your life and what it is that he has for you? Are you supposed to now I'm talking I don't know if there's somebody, are you supposed to, there's something that you're supposed to stop. Okay, guys, at this point, it is what it is. There's something that the Lord is telling you to jump out on faith on and just do it. So please just do it. Just do it. Just do it. I don't know who I'm talking to, bro. There is something that God is asking you to do. I don't know if it's a business venture. I don't know if it's a something that you view as a hobby, but it's actually more than that. And you're leaning on the stability of the life that you have already built. But will you believe? Will you believe? To wrap this all up, there is a partnership between you and the Lord. And that partnership being, he tell you what to do. He tell you what it is that, he show you vision, show you ideas and all these things. And you being the one to seek him as it pertains to how to bring these things into fruition, because he's, communicating to you from the spiritual realm, from the invisible, the unseen, and how to bring these things into being. So number one, there's a partnership. Number two, you can't get, you can't be so spiritual that you're no earthly good. Like your head just can't be floating in the clouds that you are unable to do anything. And then on the other side, you can't be so caught up in looking to the left and the right and looking to what is in front of you, to what it is that you can see. You can't consult your circumstance. Whoa. That was for me. You can't consult your circumstance. Your circumstance is not for consulting. You consult God. It's not necessarily as a balance. There's just a way. And that is what I'm settling on as I navigate this season of my life. There is a way. There's not necessarily a harmony between ambition and faith in my relationship with God. Everything that I do as it pertains to my ambition and, pursuing goals and all those things has to be filtered through God, through prayer, through my relationship with him, all that stuff. I hope that there is something here. If you want to stay in touch, because at this point, gotta go. If you want to stay in touch, you can follow me at actually.jordanalexa. That's actually.jordanalexa. Or if you want to follow me personally, that you can follow me at _JORDANALEXA. That's at _JordanAlexa. Feel free to message me. Feel free to reach out to me because this episode was a little bonkers. So if I'm talking to you, please tell me. Please let me know. Because if not, I feel like I'm going to just be shouting words into the abyss. I love you guys so much. You guys are the best. Yeah, I gotta go. I love y'all. This has been Actually with Jordan Alexa. Bye.